All right, so here I'm going to be solving problem 5.3. Um, so we are looking for the transfer function, which is a output over an input. So what we want to end up with is x of s over f of s. Um, so um, this diagram here, I'll just go over it quick. We have f of s coming in over here, um, and we have a summer, which sums f of s and x of s times 6. And then it goes through, and that whole thing is multiplied by 4, and then it's multiplied by 1 over s, and then that is summed with negative g of s and negative x of s, which is multiplied by 8. And then that whole thing is multiplied by 1 over s, and that gives you f of s, or sorry, x of s. So I'm going to work my way through here a little slower. So to start out, we have a summer here, and that is summing f of s and negative x of s times 6. So here, this little part here, it's going to be f of s minus 6 x of s. And then here, this part is just going to be this whole thing times 4. I'm not going to write that. And then here it's going to be that whole thing times 1 over s. So at point 1, we are going to have f of s minus 6 x of s. And that whole thing is going to be times 4. And then we're going to multiply it by 1 over s. So I'm just going to go ahead and factor that 4 through. So what we have is 1 over s times 4 f of s minus 24 x of s. Okay, then at point 2, right here, we go through a summer. So we add negative g of s, everything that came from 1, and we also multiply, or add negative 8 times x of s. So x of s comes through here, multiplied by 8, and we subtract it. So at point 2, we have 4 f of s this is all times 1 over s, sorry. 1 over s times 4 f of s minus 24 x of s. And that's going to be added to negative g of s, and also negative 8 x of s. Okay, and then point 3 is x of s. And it's also everything that comes through this multiplier here. So what we have to do is take everything at point 2 and multiply it by 1 over s. So x of s equals 1 over s times 1 over s times 4 f of s minus 24 x of s minus g of s minus 8 x of s, which also equals 1 over s squared times 4 fs minus 1 over s squared 24 xs minus 1 over s gs minus 1 over s 8 xs. So now I'm going to try to get all of my x of s's on one side, but first I'm going to multiply everything by s squared, just make it a little simpler. So I have s squared xs equals 4fs minus 24 xs from here minus sgs. So 1 over s times s squared equals s minus s 8xs. Double check this is correct so far. Looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to put all my xs's on one side. So I have, still in frame, s squared xs plus 24 xs plus 8s xs equals we have 4fs, and we also have a negative s g of s. So I'm just looking for the transfer function here for x over f. So we can just treat this as 0 essentially. So we need x over f. So I'm going to divide this fs out of both sides. So that gives us, I'm going to do two things in one step. I'm going to do that, and I'm also going to factor out. You can see everything on the left has an xs in it, so I'm going to factor that out. So for the numerator, which is just everything on the left currently, we have xs times s squared plus 24 plus 8s. And then we're going to be dividing that by f of s. And this is equal currently, so we divided that out, so it's going to be equal to 4. And then to get our transfer function, we just need to divide this part here. So that gives us x of s over f of s, which is the transfer function, equals 4 over s squared plus 24 plus 8s.